The next trend that we look at is authenticity. And authenticity is probably one of the most overused words in social media. Being authentic, you need to be authentic. And I know I've been telling people for I don't know how many years that authenticity is key on social media. And but I think what we'll see over the next year or so is that the consumer appetite, and not only B2C but also B2B appetite for authenticity from both brands and influencers or creators perspective is set to dig even deeper. What that means is basically people are going to want more authenticity, more human interaction. They don't want to see a brand or a business or a boring business. They want to see the personality behind it, and that's why it's called Authenticity 2.0. So it's the regular authenticity, but also on overdrive. And what is driving this change? So it's I guess fueled by Generation Z audiences, so millennials and Generation Z audiences, which is anyone born after 1981 or 1984, depending on who you are listening to. But it's that generation who are demonstrating a preference online for content that avoids, the polished profiles, the scripted posts, in favor of in the moment, true to life documentation, such as TikTok. We've seen a lot of that on TikTok. BeReal, which is a French platform which has gained a lot of traction over the last 2 years, where they're encouraging people to post photos of themselves with no filters, real in the moment, and that is gathering pace, as well as we've seen Instagram and Facebook Reels come to prominence really on the back of TikTok success over the last 12 months really. So and that's where you have the short form video content, 10 seconds or so of real sort of in the moment videos. And Generation Z and millennial audiences are going to be 60% of the workforce in the next number of years. So even from a B2B perspective, this is your audience. If you sell B2B, they're going to be in management positions, they're going to be the decision makers, and this is what they're demanding online. So it's important to adapt over the next 12 months to look at what sort of content can you produce. And I guess us as consumers, we either knowingly or unknowingly expect businesses today to help establish or re-establish that real human to human connection in an authentic and meaningful way. So what does that mean? What is authentic content? And it, of course, yes, it's going to be key going into 2023. And one of the key things is, what can be more authentic than shining spotlights on your very own customers? And a lot of that we see over the next 12 months is going to be user-generated content. So social campaigns and websites that implement this type of content, continue to deliver higher conversion rates than those that don't use user-generated content. And what user-generated content essentially is your customers are creating content on your behalf. So there's a number of reasons they do that, and there's what you can do is encourage obviously their customers to share their content, their experiences of using your business. So obviously you need a really good product, service. You need really high customer satisfaction rates. You need good after sales. And these are the kinds of things that you also need a connected audience. And these are the kind of things that can encourage your customers to generate content. We've seen like Airbnb are great at this. They encourage the sharing of content on their properties religiously. And if you can delve into your own customers for them to generate content, because it's authentic, it's real, it's not scripted, it's not, here's our product, here's our service, it's here's what our customers are saying about our product or our service. So that's going to be important over the next 12 months. And we can see an example here of Buffer. So Buffer is a social media tool. Their target market is social media managers, digital marketing managers, and they had a campaign where they encouraged their users, their community online, to share pictures of their office. And here's one of the pictures that they used. So they had various hashtags, you know, hashtag buffer community and so on. And some statistics here, you know, 45% of consumers stated that they gain inspiration for new products from friends and acquaintances on social media. So if their friends and acquaintances are sharing posts about businesses, you know, that is going to act as of course, a promotional tool for your business. Using influencer marketing can have a significant cost. So instead of going down the influencer marketing route, if you can go down the user-generated content route, it's generally free. There's a bit of admin in terms of making sure that, you know, you have permission and the authority to reshare their posts, to comment on their posts, and so on. And again, a statistic here from the Generation Z audience, 82% of them claim that they put more trust behind brands that leverage images of real life customers versus those that do not. So, you know, on your website, on social media, if it's a stock image of, you know, potential customers, that obviously doesn't do it. But real customers, you know, 82% of Generation Z audience that claim that they trust brands that do that. So something to bear in mind over the next 12 months is really try to think about strategies and ways that you can get your audience engaged, your customers engaged, to create content on your behalf. It may be campaigns, it may be just an ongoing initiative, maybe more interaction on a one-to-one basis on the after sales service. It could be video testimonials. It could be, you know, product demos on how the customer uses it, and so on. Case studies, whatever that is, think about that over the next 12 months.